Hey, we are live and the alarm is going off, the 5 o'clock alarm. So we actually went live right at 5 o'clock Eastern time, USA Eastern time on the dot, and we'll see who comes in today. And we might have a special guest from California. So the socialist state of California, we might have a guest coming in. I decided I'd wear my Bitcoin shirt because Bitcoin just dipped below 80,000, which is, I think, a good place to buy. Anything below 80,000 these days. Oh, shoot. There goes the camera again, doing automatic stuff. Okay. Let me go into my settings. I thought I found the settings that killed that. Okay, gesture. Turn that off. How come when I restart the software, it reinitializes? Well, anyway, whatever the word is, it reinitiates that. So let me go back here and see if now it doesn't do that, because I just turned it off again. I turned it off before, but we'll see what happens. So see, this is a symbol that usually tells it to auto things. So anyway, this is a special broadcast. I've been trolling some of the folks on one of the Facebook Rolex groups with pictures of me at the gym with this watch on, and they all go ballistic. Oh, you can't work out with that watch. You'll stretch the bracelet out. You'll scratch it. You'll get hurt. You'll get injured. You can't wear that. And heaven forbid you wear the Bitcoin signet ring. Oh, there's a ghost in your machine. Oh, that's from the camera. So heaven forbid, right? And oh my gosh, can you imagine the bracelet if it gets caught on something, while you're working out? And here's the funny thing about it is I've worked out on and off for 45 years. And back in the day, I used to do some pretty heavy, bench pressing and things like that. And I don't recommend that you work out too heavy because you can pay later in life for some of those things. But I can never recall a time when a weight or something dropped on my wrist and hit my wrist hard enough that it would have damaged a Rolex. Maybe a little scratch here and there or something, but I'm talking about actual damage, because weights generally don't hit my wrist here, right? I'm doing a bench press like this. The bar does not slip and come up and hit my watch. Okay, when I'm doing curls like this, it doesn't hit my watch. Nothing hits my watch. So I don't know what these guys, I guess these guys are doing like clean and jerks, and they have like wrist straps on and all of this stuff. And by the way, I don't think that's a good idea to work out with all these straps and all this stuff, because that's faking it. I mean, you're not really strengthening if you're using these cheaters, to help strengthen your wrist or whatever, so you can do more weight. To me, that's kind of like a hack. That's I don't know. Like same thing with the belts around your waist and all of that stuff when you're deadlifting and all that. I think you're better off not using that and strengthening your whole body. But that's just a different philosophy. I don't go for like max weight. I go for overall body strength and toning. So it all depends on what people are trying to achieve. But whatever people are trying to achieve, I don't recall them hitting their wrist so hard with various items that they would damage a Rolex or, keep a Rolex from functioning. It takes a lot to keep a Rolex from functioning. And just from my personal experience, I've had watches that I've worn doing all kinds of things, and they're pretty robust. I would worry about my wrist getting hurt before I would worry about the watch getting hurt. Watches and wonders. Yes, we're going to talk about the new watches. Let me get a picture up here. Let's see here. I'm going to share. Let's see. Present. Share screen. I'm going to share a window. I want to share this. Okay, this will be easier. And let me make this full screen. And so this is one of the watches. This is the Land Dweller, which they say they've positioned it between a Datejust and a day date, wherever they've positioned it, I'm not a fan of an integral bracelet in that case design with the integral bracelet. I just think it defeats the purpose of having a Rolex. I don't get it, don't understand it. I didn't like it when they did it with the oyster quartz years ago. I don't like it with these. So Kyle's in the house. We'll get his take on this also. Let me add him to the. So Kyle's in the house. We'll get his take on that also. Let me add him to the. We're hearing the audio. Okay, I think he's killed it. So can you hear me now? Let me see if I can hear Kyle. Okay, I think I got Kyle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you fine. So we've got the this new land dweller on the screen, and I was just saying that I'm just not a fan of that integral bracelet and that case design. Now they did make them thinner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they made the thing really thin. I think it's like 11 millimeters thick, something like that. Maybe somebody in the chat can indicate what the actual thickness is of this watch that we're looking at right now.
No, did you see that I sent you a link that has one page from the Rolex website where it shows all the new watches 2025 releases?
Okay, so we're gonna go look at that link. We're gonna pull it up, but let's deal with this comment here real quick. As long as it's a sports model, a day date doesn't belong in the gym. That's fashion crime. A day date. No, I think a day date is fine in the gym. I think any Rolex Oyster, it would be fine. I mean, if that's your watch, that's your watch. I mean, wear it, right? Why would you take it off? It's going to do fine, especially if it's one of the newer ones with the ceramic sleeves and the bracelet. You don't have to worry about bracelet stretch anymore, which was really the only thing we had to worry with the older ones. Okay, let me remove this from the screen for a second here. Well, how do I just hide it? I don't want to remove it. Let me see here. I'm trying to figure this out on the fly. I'm going to put me solo layout. Now I'm going to put Kyle solo layout. And let me see if we can do a side by side. Okay, good. Now I can switch back to that other thing when I need to. So I'm going to pull up this link in my browser so that we can look at the link that you sent. But what do you think? If the day date is your watch, what would you say about wearing that in the gym?
Well, I mean, he knows you can wear that in the gym, obviously. I mean, I think he's joking.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see.
I don't see what could go wrong. Like, whatever. I mean,
never thought I would see Rolex rip off Chopard. Okay, yeah. So to me, the watch looks a lot like the old oyster quartz. It doesn't look that much different.
It looks the same to me. I mean, virtually the same. It's not a quartz watch anymore, but that's the first thing that I thought of when I saw this watch. I thought, oh, this is the modern rendition or their modern take on the oyster quartz.
Okay, so let's pull up these other watches now. Okay,
it looks
so there we go.
For whatever it's worth, but I mean,
Yeah, and like I say, I think it's really thin.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's a plus. But I was thinking about that as well. I think my GMT is 12 millimeters thick, roughly. And to me, I think that's the sweet spot. I really wouldn't want it any thinner. I think it would look a little silly if it was thinner because it's a sport watch, right? I don't think it should be like paper thin. I think 12 millimeters is a nice thickness for a sport watch. It sits on the wrist nice. It's nice and flat on the wrist. Your watch, when I saw it in person, Kyle, it was sitting nice and flat on your wrist.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Kyle here for a second so we can see that. Hold your wrist up so we can see your watch. Yeah, see, it sits nice and flat on the wrist. I don't think you need it any thinner than that. So going to 11 millimeters, I mean, it's great. It's okay with me, but absolutely, I don't think it's necessary. Here's another comment. You can wear a day date in the gym, but it's like wearing a tuxedo while bowling. No, that day date isn't really a formal watch. It's really an all-arounder, in my opinion. Okay, let's go back to the watches here. And we got an Oyster Perpetual 41. Now, what's so new about that? Did they not offer a 41 before?
Oh, no, I think they have some new dial options.
Okay, gotcha. And then the day date, not sure what was new about that. Yeah, they had the fluted bezel on platinum. They had already brought that out. So I'm not sure what's new there. Cosmograph Daytona, is it just a new dial? Is that the idea? Or was it not available in yellow gold before?
I think that's a new dial on that one.
And was it available in yellow gold before?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay. I much prefer that over rose, but I wouldn't want a Daytona.
Definitely was available in rose. Definitely was available in rose gold for sure.
Yeah, I definitely don't like the polished center links on a all gold oyster bracelet. I'm not a fan of polished center links. Period. If it was a steel oyster bracelet, that's why I wouldn't buy the GMT with the oyster bracelet.
I agree. If it was a brushed bracelet, then I might have to think about
that. That's what it should have been. That's what it should have been. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it should be. I agree.
Okay, so here we've got this dress watch with where they've added the 1908, where they've added the it's sort of like almost like a Jubilee bracelet, but even a little finer.
Right.
I like it, but I still prefer the 002, just the looks of it. I don't know. There's just something about this watch. It just doesn't do it for me as much as the 002. And as far as if I want a dress watch, I kind of like the leather strap. I think it looks classy. So even though I'm a fan of a gold bracelet, I just don't know about this whole situation. I mean, I think I would just buy a day date.
I would too.
And call it a day, or, something, or of course I would buy the GMT just because it's more legible. I bought that because it's, because of my eyes, it's just more legible than a day date.
Right.
And the other reason why I decided on that, remember we were debating about should I get the day date or should I get the GMT?
Right.
And the other reason I went for the GMT is, in my opinion, they're just more unusual. A GMT in yellow gold is just something you just don't see that often. And I can't tell you the last time I saw one in person on somebody's wrist. It was probably 35 years ago. I don't see it.
I agree. I see quite a few day dates. But
correct. Correct. So now we've got what is new about the Everose day date that's showing here? Do we know what was new about that?
I do not know what is new about that. No.
Okay. And then we got another Oyster Perpetual 31. That's more like a woman's watch.
Right.
And there's the Land Dweller 40 in platinum. I mean, I'm sorry, $63,000 for that watch. I mean, I would much rather buy the GMT that I have on my wrist. I'd much rather have that watch and 20 grand in cash.
Here's some new dials here.
Which the 20 grand in cash, I would immediately put into Bitcoin. It's sub 80,000 right now. We're getting it on sale again.
Yeah.
For those people that missed it below 80,000, you can't complain now. You're getting another shot at the apple. Let's see. These are some Land Dweller 36s. It's going to be interesting to see how well the Land Dweller does. I'm just not, off the bat, I'm just not a fan.
I think it'll sell. Everything they make sells, so they'll convince people that this is a good option, and they'll probably sell. But
it probably depends on the influencers getting behind it on social media, and pushing it. We're going to see what they do.
I just think what they make is selling right now, and people are just going to buy it, and maybe they'll, it could be a release that's limited. They might offer this for 4 or 5 years and take it out of the catalog.
Yeah, because some things they don't sell well. and they get rid of them, you know? Okay, so here's another comment. I picked up a solid yellow Daytona 126508 in early December. While I don't wear it to the gym, I do rotate the watch as a daily with a GMT BLNR. I would generally agree the 18 karat holds up to daily use. Yeah, I've just never had a problem. It's funny. When I got my first 8.8, it had a lot of wear and tear. It had a fair amount of stretch in the bracelet, but the bracelet still worked, still held the watch on my wrist. It just had stretch. No update on Milgauss or Explorer.
No Milgauss at all.
And here's the thing. When I first got that watch, it was a 1966 model, 1803.
Yeah.
And I got it in about 1978, roughly. So it was like 12 years old at the time, and had been, obviously worn daily, for 12 years because it had stretch, and obviously wasn't cared for that well because it had stretch. Because my 18238 I wore for 20 years, and it really didn't have any stretch. Of course, I kept it clean. I didn't let grit stay, in the bracelet for extended periods and stuff like that. Right. So anyway, I wore that watch, and I didn't even think about the watch having wear and tear on it. It still looked fine. The case was great. It looked great. I mean, it was just a fun watch to wear. And it was, like I say, 12 years old of heavy use. And so it's strange that now people go ballistic when they think their watch might get like a hairline scratch on it somewhere. It just doesn't compute for me. So let's look at some of these comments real quick on the let me switch back to this this browser here, and I saved a few of these. So here's one. They're still replying. Here's one I posted more recently to troll them some more, right? I said, when working out with heavy weights, because somebody made a comment on my previous post that I took it in the yoga studio, right? That was next door, right? Yeah, I didn't take it in the weight room, the picture.
Oh, right.
So this one I took in the weight room, right? With some big plates in the background and stuff. And I said, when working out with heavy weights, always wear 18 karat yellow gold. So I'm trying to trigger these guys, right? So of course they bit. This guy commented first. He says, okay, I think he wanted to say pretty sure, but I'm pretty, everyone gets it and fully understands that you, 1, crave attention, 2, like to flex your 18 karat yellow gold GMT Master 2, enjoy working out wearing it because you're not concerned about the scratches, damages. Congrats. And then this guy says, you aren't working out very hard if you're wearing that. And so I replied to him. I said, if your workout would damage your wrist and or your Rolex, you might want to rethink your workout. And then this guy says, my workouts don't damage my watch. I never said that, but it would be a hindrance. I train like an athlete, so would never wear a stainless steel watch in the gym. Well, I wouldn't wear a stainless steel watch in the gym either. I said, it's 18 karat yellow gold, guy. Get with the program. I should reply to that. So, okay. I wouldn't wear steel either. 18 karat
live
gold
replies
all the way. Get with the program. Okay, get with the program. Boom. Okay. All right. So then this guy says, would the pressure on the wrist cause the bracelet to stretch? So I replied, I said, probably not, especially these modern bracelets with ceramic sleeves. They seem to be very robust. And this guy says, whatever works for you. And this guy says, what a clown. I haven't replied to him. And this guy says, just stupid people who do not really work out wears a watch like that in the gym. So proving you are not a watch enthusiast nor a hard training person. I'll forgive him his poor English, but will reply anyway. And I said, I may not be a, quote, watch enthusiast, but I do wear my watches. I've been wearing 18 karat yellow gold watches for 40 plus years, and they hold up just fine. So that's one thread. That's the most recent thread. Here's another one where I was riding the bike, right? And I said, riding the exercise bike after 3 games of beach volleyball, the GMT is holding up great, which I actually did play 3 games of beach volleyball wearing the watch. So anyway, I'm going to scroll down, and and this guy is showing his watch, same watch, right? Okay. No, that's not the same watch. That's a steel watch. Okay. But anyway, happy Friday. Yeah. Where are the, oh, there's only 2 comments on that one. Okay. Then that one didn't take off. All right, let me go one of these others here. All right, here we go. When in doubt, always go with 18 karat yellow gold. Stunning. Okay. So this one's not a workout one. Okay. So we'll get past that one. Oh, here we go. Still looks good after a month of heavy use, even with some scratches. Yes, I wear it playing tennis and volleyball and working out in the gym. And I showed the scratches, on the clasp there. And you play beach or indoor? And I replied that beach. That's what they're for, to wear. It's beautiful. And I replied, I agree. A Rolex is a robust heavy use watch. And then this guy says that's the way to wear a Rolex. And I replied, I agree. Life's too short to not wear. If you're wearing a watch that has a Jubilee bracelet to the gym, then you're not lifting heavy weights. Makes no sense wearing a watch with no movement. And I replied, not sure what you're talking about. The Jubilee bracelet is robust, especially the modern bracelets with ceramic sleeves. And then wearing a watch to the gym will never make sense to me. And then I replied, this has 12 replies in here. Taking a watch off your wrist will never make sense to me. I buy watches to wear. There's 10 replies in there. Yeah, I wear mine every day, but you clearly not working out that hard if you're doing with a 20K plus watch on your wrist, just wanting people to look at you at that point. And this guy says you will stretch the bracelet a lot faster in the gym. And this guy says, I have several Rolex watches, and the Sea Dweller is my garden and landscaping watch. And then I replied, if it gets stretched out, I'll buy another one. And I said, I get pretty good workouts, and a Rolex can handle heavy use. And this guy says, it's not the watch. I just know it's not going to be comfortable lifting if you're actually exerting effort. Hey, Kyle, when you exert effort, if your watch is on your wrist, does the watch bother you when you exert effort? Like if you pick up something heavy or something?
It doesn't for me, but
it doesn't for me either. It sounds like,
according to them, I'm probably not working out that hard.
It sounds like they don't have their watches sized properly. To me, is what it sounds like. Josh Ward, my GMT, I've replied, my GMT is comfortable no matter what I'm doing. And then I've got a picture of it sitting on its bracelet, which will trigger them, right? Because it scratches it. See that picture? That triggers them, right? Oh my God, you'll scratch the underside of the case. And it does have a tiny little scratch on the backside of the case. Alan Hudson, by the way, the ceramic sleeves that they're now putting in these gold bracelets make them hold up much better. I agree with you. Okay, I already read that. Where's it? Teach their own. You could also wear. Okay, that's apples and oranges. Definitely my favorite. Okay, so anyway, you get the gist. There's another one here. I don't know if there's anything good in this one. Perfect heavy use sport watch. My favorite. Too much attention. Okay, and I replied to that one. Most people don't care what watch you're wearing. I mean, that's really my experience. Most people either have no clue or just don't care, about the watch. Rarely does somebody comment on my watch. Now, I will say that they absolutely will comment, are more likely to comment if the watch is 18 karat gold. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about that. They are more likely to comment than if it's a steel watch. Okay, let's get caught up on these comments. I picked up. Okay, I read that.
These people are so like I'm definitely of the mindset, do whatever you want, but I think it's hilarious that these people, they feel the need to engage in this. Like, you throw out the bait and inevitably these people bite.
They're gonna bite on it. Yeah. What's up, guys? Just joining in. Ray in the house. Ray, do you wear your watches? Okay. Are you concerned about a scratch? I got something to show, by the way. What's the likely impact of the new 31% tariff on Switch watches? Will all the remaining mom and pop Rolex ADs have to drop I think Rolex will probably eat most of that because they got huge margins. They've already announced their prices. I seriously doubt they're going to do a big price increase, but we'll see what happens. But I'm not worried about it. I've already bought my watch. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Says Kyle. And 65-year-old Craig throwing shots. Get him. 68 now, believe it or not. Time flies. Okay, so
Wow.
I got to show you this video clip. I got to show you this. This is hilarious. Let me see if I can get this to play. Will this play? Oh, shoot. I think I recorded it. Hold on a second here. Yeah, it's 7 seconds long. Okay. See this thing playing now?
Yeah.
Look closely. See, it's little plastic pieces that they put on the watch.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's called Invisa Shield.
Oh, man.
These guys can get these things for their box watches, and then when they take the watch out of the box to take a picture for social media, it doesn't get scratched before they put it back in the box. I think it's a really good idea for them. Get that plastic shit and put it on their watch.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason that these people feed into this stuff is you got to look at the group, right? It's a group in a Facebook, Rolex people in a Facebook group. And so they're the ones that have the box watches. Right? They're not the ones that just go in to a jeweler who they've been dealing with for years and just buys a watch to wear. Right? That's not who these people are. Because the guy that just goes in and buys the watch to wear and enjoy, maybe he's had 4 Rolexes in 30 years, right? That type of thing, right? He is just buying a watch. He's the one that isn't thinking about scratching it or anything like that. It would never enter his mind.
Right.
It's like I'm replacing the watch for some reason. Maybe my watch wasn't running right, or maybe I just got tired of it, or maybe I gave it to my son, or who knows why they're in there buying another watch, but they're buying another watch to wear it, right? Those people are not hanging out in that forum. The people that are hanging out in the forum are the people that have the box watches,
right,
that are going to get totally bent out of shape when you're doing something that might potentially put a scratch on your watch.
Right.
So that's the deal with that. This guy's got a Nazi symbol for his thing. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
We've seen it all here.
Daring right there.
We've seen it all here.
Yeah, you
all
see
right. So what else is going on? Bring us up to date. Let's do a close up of the GMT first.
I was gonna say too, like, I mean, the scratches, they just don't even really like show. So I don't even think. I don't even think about it. There's nothing that I don't do. I don't take it off. I don't make a point of taking it off to do any chores.
They show if you I got to make sure it hides my face because it'll focus on my face.
Right.
They show if you do a macro, right? If you do a macro shot, and this has not been cleaned or anything, right? I've not cleaned it.
Yeah, but I don't live my life with a loop, around my eye and looking at macro. I'm just living a normal life, not even thinking about it. It's on the wrist, like there's little things, but it's fine. It gets better, and when you get some on there, you just don't even think, it's just fine. Yeah. That looks good.
Yeah, let's show the other side again.
Yeah, that looks good. I like it with a little bit of, just a little bit of use. But,
and let's show again that picture of Robert Culp wearing his.
Yeah.
Let's pull that up again. Let me see if I have it here.
Is he still living? That actor is probably
no. I don't think he is. I wonder who got his watch.
Maybe his son.
It's hard to say. Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
I don't know if he had kids or not. Right now.
How come it didn't come up? Let me try again. It's Culp, C-U-L-P. Right? Huh. It's not coming up. Weird. Isn't that how you spell his name? Culp, C-U-L-P?
I think so. Excuse me. Yeah, I think so.
GMT. I'm just going to search GMT and see what comes up. For some reason, it didn't want to come up. What happened to? Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, C-U-L-P. It should have come up. All right, let me show this. Okay, and so
what a cool piece. Very similar to yours.
So yeah, and this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I bought it. Is there were only a couple of watches like this that I saw. I saw this one in this show back when it came out in the early 70s, 72, 73-ish.
Right.
And then I did know one person that had a gold GMT back in the day. And so that was the only one I'd seen in person, was that one person. But I knew a lot of people that had Rolexes back in the day. A lot of people had day dates. Right. But I only knew one that had a gold GMT. I knew several that had steel and gold GMTs. But the fact that Culp was just wearing this in the episode, in the 3 different Columbo episodes where he wore it, and it just casually just wearing the watch. I mean, just like it's just a watch, and again, that's back in the day, that's the way it was. It was not, it was a nice watch, but it wasn't treated like anything but a watch, if that makes any sense.
Right. Of course.
Just the fact that it happened to be a really nice watch didn't dictate how the watch was treated. I guess that's a better way to put it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like if you buy a nice car, okay, some people just buy a new Mercedes every 2 years, whatever, right? Or every year. And they just use it like it was a Toyota. They don't use it any different. It's used the exact same way.
Yeah.
Regardless.
That's right? Probably the way to do a Mercedes, to be honest with you, is have that sort of wealth. Only buy them if they're just disposable like that, because they're not reliable.
Correct. You don't want them out of warranty. No. Absolutely. You don't want to do that. Craig, check out any of the new. What's the Chudas? What's Chuda?
Tuners, maybe.
Oh, tutors. No. We're not going to talk about any tutors. Now,
wait, though, I did
Grant,
send you an email. I did send you an email of your watch configured with the new dial, and I think that's worth looking at.
Okay, the Grand Seiko, by the way,
that's worth talking about.
The new Grand Seiko with the thinner movement, the new spring drive. There's one that's significantly thinner, right?
This is pretty big. I don't know if we want to like save that and maybe have another show on the new Grand Seiko releases, but this is like kind of almost what I've been asking for here. It's a 37.
Yeah, we should talk. Yeah, we should talk about that in another show. But we can preview it. We can tease it.
Sure.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let me show this. Let me show this GMT. Okay, so
it's your watch with the new dial.
With this dial. And here's the thing about this dial. I saw this before, and to me, it just makes it more busy. I wouldn't want it. I certainly wouldn't pay extra. I certainly wouldn't pay extra for it, but I wouldn't want it even if I had the choice of the two. I would still, let's see, how do we, I guess I go to configure. I'll hide this. Come on. Wait, not discover.
Yeah, it's.
Do I go to discover?
$4,200.
Configure. Okay, so I'm going to configure.
$4,200 for that dial.
And I'm going to go to yellow gold.
Wow.
Okay, and now I'm going to go to dial. All right, so here's the two dials.
I think it's interesting. If it were the same price, I might consider it, but for $4,000 more, I mean, good Lord.
Well, see, one of the reasons why I bought this watch is legibility, and to me, this makes it less legible. Just look at the picture. See, doesn't it? It looks busier like that. Then let me switch over. Let me switch over to black and watch how much easier it is. See how all the markers pop more with the black.
I can hear what you're saying, yeah. But I mean, it does add a bit of visual interest, and I think that's
but I'm just saying, if you do a A/B comparison right here to which one is more legible, right?
No legibility, no question about it. The black all the way, but Rolexes in general are very legible, even with a busier dial. They're pretty legible because of their choice of markers.
Yeah, to me the only advantage of taking this dial here that I'm showing now, the new dial for more money, the only real advantage would be it's showing people that it's a brand new watch because it wasn't available previously.
Yeah. You have the new dial, so it's clear that you have a 2025 model, something like that.
So, you're the you know what. So,
I mean, it's
but
not a huge deal, but that's something. That's a new release, technically.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, let me give some information on what I had done to the coach here this week. Let me go to the photos here and let me show this. Okay, so the coach had, this is the rear part of the roof that you're looking at now. There was a big dome, white dome antenna, and I'll show you pictures here in a minute. And we took that off and we put the Starlink on there, that square thing, that's the Starlink dish. And then that cable that's running over to that box was bolted onto the roof and sealed. And so I can run cables into that and then down into the coach. So there's no chance of any water getting in the coach, right?
Nice.
And so later, if I decide to put solar panels on the roof, I can use that same junction box to run the cables down for that. And so we're gonna clean the entire roof. He's already resealed everything. He also removed the big satellite dish that comes up and spins around and all that. That's totally obsolete. He removed that, and the old TV antenna. He removed that because all that stuff is not needed anymore with the internet. And so this the dish for Starlink is all I need. That's all the connectivity I need for pretty much everything. And so if I go forward here, let's see here. That's all the junk that was taken off of the roof. There's the old dish, the old antenna, the big dome antenna. All of that junk is now off the roof, and everything is sealed properly and so on and so forth. So I don't have to worry about any water getting in, period, ever.
It's like a lid to a barbecue or something.
And he did say that, like, a couple of the antennas that he took off, that around the sealant around them was getting really old and stuff, and that it was going to be a potential water leak. So I'm glad that we did this now. We just did it all, just got it all off and sealed everything properly. And then probably on Tuesday, we're going to get some of this. Let me show you what I'm going to get.
And you're thinking about heading west then after Florida, is that right or no?
Yeah. See this stuff here, Henry?
Oh, nice.
Sealant. It's a silicone. It's special for a roof like this, and it seals everything really good. So it's another layer of sealing everything. And then it also reflects heat really well, and it's extremely robust. And so it's silicone. So it's $350 for 5 gallons. So it's no joke. And so we're going to coat the whole roof with that. And so then if at some point I decide to put solar on the whole roof, I've got a really good starting point. Because see, this coach has no air conditioners on the roof. All the air conditioners are in the basement, basically. It has 3 cruise air units that are all in the basement, which is much preferred because it's a lot quieter to have the cruise air units. And then when you're running down the road, it's got the bus air. So that runs off of the Detroit diesel. So you don't have to run the cruise air units. The cruise air units are only run when you're standing still. When you're not running the Series 60,
right,
you're running the cruise air units. Right. And if you're hooked into shore power, then you're running the cruise air units. Like right now, I'm running the cruise air units off of the shore power. If I'm sitting somewhere where I don't have shore power, I'm running the generator.
Right.
So I'm running generator. I can run everything, all the cruise airs, everything. So this coach basically has to have power all the time. It's not the kind of thing where you have it sit somewhere without power. That's not a good idea.
Right.
So if I'm not hooked up, if I'm not hooked up, I'm either running the Series 60, and it has a huge oil-cooled alternator on it that can run everything in the coach except for the air conditioners. It can run 2 air conditioners, actually, not all 3. But I don't have to even run 2 because I've got the bus air to run when I'm running down the road. So I don't have to run any of the cruise air units. So that big, huge alternator just has to run everything else. All the lights, the microwave, the refrigerator, everything else can run off of that alternator. Because it's
so then what's your game plan then when you're not going to be living in it?
When I'm what?
When you're not going to be living in it, how does that all work then?
I got to have it plugged in somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't let this thing sit without power. Right. Because it'll get moldy inside and all kinds of shit will happen, right? You got to have air moving through it. You got to have stuff running. I mean, you can't just let these coaches sit. It's not a good idea. People do it, but it's not a good idea. And that's never been done with this coach since it's been new. It's always been plugged into power. Right. It's either been plugged into power or running, one of the two.
Right.
Now you can go for, with the house batteries that it has now, it has 6 of those huge batteries in it for house batteries. You can go a day or so on those batteries. But that's about it. Once you go, even like through the evening, let's say you drive until 6 o'clock at night and you stop somewhere and you're running on the batteries, you're not running the generator. you're going to go all night long into the morning. You're probably still fine, right? But you're not going to go 2 or 3 days. If you want to go 2 or 3 days, I've got to upgrade those to lithium, which I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to upgrade all those house batteries to lithium. And then I might be able to go 2 or 3 days off of the lithium. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
yeah, it seems like a good move.
So, but you just got to weigh all that, because it's not that expensive to run the generator for an hour or two and recharge your batteries. So, you know, but if you're going to be at a place where they don't want you to run the generator for some reason or whatever, then that's where having the lithium comes in handy, where you can just do your thing and everything's quiet.
Gives you other options for sure.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's where we are with the coach. Oh, one other thing I've got to deal with is the washer and dryer is the original washer and dryer. They look great.
I remember him showing those in the video.
They're from Sweden and all that nonsense, right? Well, it turns out that the washing machine doesn't work properly, and you can't get any parts for it. It's totally obsolete. You can't get any parts for it.
Sure.
So I'm gonna stop at Marathon. Headed north here, about an hour and a half north is their Florida location. They have a location in Florida, Texas, and out west where they make these things. So they have a full service facility right here an hour and a half north of me. Nice. So I'm going to go up there and stop on my way north, and I might have them replace the washer and dryer with brand new units. So we got to see about how they can get them out of here and get the new ones in. That's a whole thing. That's a whole deal.
Well, you gotta have working units. I mean, you can't have broken stuff in there like that. I wouldn't want that. Yeah. What's that mean? Going to the laundromat or something, probably.
Yeah, and what's interesting is because I'm in Florida here, right? I haven't had to do laundry yet. I've been here for 2 or 3 months, however long I've been here. I got here in the middle of January, right? Yeah. I haven't had to do any laundry yet because I'm always wearing a swimsuit.
Right.
And so I just jump in the pool, right? I mean, you know, and I mean, I play volleyball in the swimsuit. I play tennis in the swimsuit. I mean, in these shirts, all you have to do with these is like rinse them in the sink and hang them up in the shower, let them dry, and you're good to go. I mean, what the hell? I mean, so it hasn't been an issue here
yet.
But once I get up north and I'm doing other things and I'm wearing other kinds of clothes and all, then you're going to have to want to do laundry at some point. Right. Sure. And so, but what's funny is even when I'm up north, I don't do laundry that often. Like I keep all my whites in a basket and I'll let that basket get totally full. Right. And then I'll do, run a load of laundry, and that might be 2 months. It could be 3 months. I mean, really, I mean, and my shirts, they go to the cleaners, my normal shirts, button-up shirts, right. They go to the dry cleaners anyway, because I like them starched.
Yeah.
So I don't have to launder them.
Right.
My bill khakis, I've got like 15 pairs of them that I rotate, and those only have to be done like every couple of years, if that, because I got so damn many of them, and they don't really get that dirty, right? And those I usually take to the cleaners too.
So it's nothing going in the wash.
So it's not towels. Towels is about it. Right. And I got a bunch of those. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But the downside, the problem is, since I'm in the coach, I can't carry as much of that stuff. So I can't have like 50 towels like I have at home, right?
Right.
I only carry like 10 towels, right? So you don't have as many to be in rotation as I would normally have. So yeah, I'm going to get them fixed no matter what it costs, and when you go to Marathon to have something done, when you go to Marathon, you price is not discussed. It's like they you have a nice lounge there, you sit down, you relax, they take care of it, and when the bill comes, it's just staggering, and you just pay it, right? It's not, that's just the way it works. It's like you don't go to Marathon Coach expecting a deal.
Right.
So you got to be ready for that. You got to be prepared for that. And the previous owner, he told me, he said, use Marathon when you have to, something with the coach that you really have to use them. He said, but use them sparingly.
Right. he would know.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use them sparingly, but yeah, this will be a hit. I guarantee it'll be, it might be $5,000 by the time I get the thing. The units are like $2,000 or $3,000 for the units. And then you got to pull the old ones out and put the new ones in, which is a freaking whole deal, right?
Yeah, it's like, once the smoke clears, this is not going to be a small
But here's the thing. Even if I spend $20,000 a year on this coach, let's say $20,000 for coach related stuff, which these washer and dryer would be included in that. And let's say $10,000 for that and $10,000 for chassis related stuff, the Prevost chassis servicing stuff, right? I would pay more than that in depreciation if I bought a newer rig. I would suffer more in depreciation a year than $20,000.
Easily.
And I'd have a shitty unit.
Yeah, and it doesn't even include any maintenance that you might have on that as well after the warranty.
Well, and you even have maintenance even while it's under warranty. You have to change the oil and do all that kind of stuff too.
Sure, yeah, standard maintenance. That is kind of like a wash.
But yeah, I don't think. I mean, we'll see, and I'm going to keep all the records, and as always, I'm going to be totally transparent. But like my Bluebird that I had it almost 20 years, and all I really did with that is just routine maintenance stuff. I kept it maintained properly, but I had very few failures, very few anything that I really had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like this. It was in great shape when I got it, and then I just continued the maintenance. Once a year, I took it to a guy, good old boy, and had him go through it, lubricate everything, change the oil, whatever needed to be done. Now that was a much simpler rig than this one, right? So there's that. But I will know a lot when I get up to the bus grease monkey, the end of the month. I'm going to be up there the end of this month, and he's going to go through the whole coach, and we'll find out. We'll find out what the deal is
there. Yeah.
Because he won't pull any punches. He'll go through the whole thing.
Car Care Net too, right?
Have you seen any of Bus Grease Monkey's videos?
I have not. No.
You should check his channel out.
I will.
Just pick any of his random.
Maybe I have. I think so. I think I have actually.
Just pick out any of his random videos of him working on somebody's coach. Find one where he's working on a Marathon coach, right? Like that is the same as mine.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I mean, he'll go through and he will say if somebody screwed stuff up, if the guy working on it before him, screwed stuff up, and he'll call a spade a spade. But the reason I'm going out of my way to take it to him is he seems like he's completely honest, and he seems like he's extremely knowledgeable. And those are the two things you want in your mechanic, is somebody that's knowledgeable and honest. Because if they're knowledgeable and dishonest, they can rip you off.
Mm-hmm.
If they're honest but not knowledgeable, they just mess stuff up. right? They can be honest as the days, but not know what the hell they're doing, and they can do more harm than good, right?
Yeah.
So what you need is somebody that's honest and knowledgeable.
Sure.
So that's what we get. All right, well, we're going to wrap this puppy up. It's been almost an hour. We'll do another show maybe next week on the I'm going to try to do this every Sunday. I'm going to be at Marathon next Sunday. But they're not going to look at the coach until Monday, the next morning. I'm going to get there on Saturday. I'm rolling out of here on Saturday. So I'll get there on Saturday. You know, they've got a free campground there and all hookups and all that. So I'll be there Saturday, Sunday, and then first thing Monday morning, they're going to look at the washer and dryer situation and tell me what they can do or can't do. And then I'm planning on being there all week. And I'm not going to be at Bus Grease Monkey until, let's see when I'm supposed to be there. Let me look at the calendar here. Because I had an appointment, but we had to bump it a week because he had somebody else he had to get in. Okay, so I'm going to arrive there on the 27th. So that's Sunday, the 27th. I'm going to arrive at Bus Grease Monkey, and then that Monday morning, the 28th, he's going to start his thing on it. So that's the schedule as it stands now.
Okay. Through April. Nice.
And I don't have anything scheduled after that. I don't know where I'm going after that. Likely, I'm going up to Thurmont to sell the condo and get it sold. Get it sold and gone. And and get out of Maryland completely, because Maryland is for the birds. So then after that, I'll probably head to Tennessee and see if that property is still available that I was looking at. As far as I know, he still hasn't sold it. It's overpriced. See if I can make a deal on that. If I can't make a deal on that, I might hunt around and go up to Mountain City, Tennessee, which is the highest elevation city in Tennessee. It's at 2,500 feet elevation. So if I can find a place in Mountain City, that would be a nice place to spend part of the summer because it would be cooler, at 2,500 foot elevation.
Right.
So anyway, everything's up in the air. And then at some point I got to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
To have.
When are you going there? Do you have any idea when you're going there?
Well, once I get everything sorted with selling the place and all that, then I'll schedule
later summer. Then later.
Yeah, then I'll schedule. Yeah, then I'll schedule. I don't want to go up there too late because the weather will get bad.
I do.
So and it's also going to depend on his availability as well. He's a busy guy.
Right,
but hopefully I can schedule something. And I've already checked out. There's a couple of nice RV resorts up there that I can hopefully get a spot and spend a month or so up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then just have him completely go through the Lexus. I'm just going to tell him, I'm going to say, do what needs to be done.
All right.
It's in pretty good shape, but I want to make sure it's in excellent shape. I want to nip anything in the bud, anything that looks like it might fail in the next couple of years. I just want it dealt with.
Sure.
And he's the one to do it.
I agree.
So, all right. So we'll play it by ear, but hopefully we'll do a stream next week on the GSs.
Yeah. Next week, Grand Seiko releases.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about Rolex before we go?
I don't think I have anything else. No. Probably on the Grand Seikos, but I think we should wait.
Now you're wearing the Air King and the Sub now. You rotate those, or?
I don't even wear the Air King that much, to be honest with you. It's really just the Submariner. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have the Air King. I'm never going to get rid of that, but.
Now, what else do you have? What else do you have now?
I have a tag as well. I have a tag.
Okay.
Chronograph, but I don't wear that as much either. Those were both given to me by a cousin of mine, older cousin.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm not ever getting rid of those. But I do have them. They don't get worn that often. But yeah, before I went on my trip, I was wearing both of them a little bit, but now it's kind of like I packed them away for that, and I really haven't gotten into that since I got back. So I've just been wearing the Submariner.
So last minute comment, Craig, check out the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Tribute Mono Face Small Seconds with Milanese bracelet. I'll have to do it. I'll have to check it out. We're not going to do it for this show, though. It's 6 o'clock. But we'll, hey, Lefty, come on in next week and we'll pull that up and we'll talk about it on the screen. Yeah. Come on in. Make sure, by the way, everybody, make sure you're subscribed and comment and all that good stuff. We're trying to hit 50,000 so we can have a party.
That's right.
50,000 subs. All right. Carry on, everybody. Life's too short. Wear your watch. Don't worry about scratches.
Bravo.
Even if it's gold. Even if it's That's gold.
Right. Life's too short. It is.
Yeah.
We can all agree
Take care,
that.
Kyle. Take care.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Peace out, everybody.
See ya.